Hello, all. Hope you are enjoying season 44. I certainly am not, but this is what it is with any sort of new season. You don't really know how it might end up going. There's been some sort of movement for me. I did get to the diamond tier yesterday, but then dropped out because I wasn't really able to unlock the right sort of deck, which would have kept me in diamond. And the main deck for that, for me at least, was boom cannons. But I just decided to press on and get bombers. So let's look at what my deck tree looks like. So pretty standard from the beginning. Did not really change anything up in previous to 4ER. After 4ER, I went with building health and rocket launches. I thought that would be good enough to help me rank up. And I think it probably got me like one rank, but nothing major. And by that time, the leaderboard had actually progressed too far ahead in tech. By the time I got to rocket launchers, folks were already at rocket choppers. So obviously, I wasn't really able to progress. Then I tried to push at grens. Similar story. When I got to grens, people already had bombers and boom cannons, which again means my grens weren't that effective. When I got to rocket choppers, pretty much all the bases were laced with boom cannons and rocket launchers and all the defenses, so I couldn't really use the rocket choppers because there is no GB. And finally, I picked up bombers yesterday. And that's what I've been trying to use to get the hits in. But luckily, so far, it's been a bit of a grind, as you can see from the log. But I was finally able to get back into diamond, which is always a good thing. The timing always is bad, because as soon as I get into diamond, like 20 minutes later, I have another chest to collect. So my fear is that I might fall out. But the good thing is that I can now unlock boom cannons, which hopefully helps with my defense, because my base was just too easy for folks who had the right sort of tech. Because as you can see, it looks so easy that, I would love to face a base like me. And I have faced a few bases like me, but very, very rarely. So the troop combo which I've been using is something like this: a boat of heavies, 4 boat of bombers, 2 boat of grens, a boat of medic with Sparky. I'm now trying to use Sparky's critter swarm. I know my Sparky isn't really upgraded, so it's not really super useful, but I think it just gives a slight level of distraction at times when Sparky doesn't die and I don't manage to kill him. The hack is useful, but I find that with the critter launches, it's a bit inconsistent, that if you get into the range of critter launcher and they have a critter out, then your hack just gets wasted. Same thing with explosive charge. I think it had its use in maybe a day or so back. But again, with the critters being on the map, Sparky can actually kill your own troops with explosive charge, and we don't want that to happen. You can see most of my losses are the ones where I wasn't able to clear it on the base, and that was primarily because it was fully stacked. I made a few mistakes, did not have any GB because I'm still at tick 4 gunboat. I can get it up to tick 5, so that's good. But yes, I don't have the gunboat node, I don't have the extra troop health, so everything hurts a bit more. So that's the negatives out of the way. Let's see how I'm trying to clear these bases. Kind of standard layouts nowadays, that pretty much everything is stacked on the right side of the map. So I dropped the boat of heavies to take an initial bit of fire. They are not really trying to do too much. And then I dropped the boat of bombers and grens and Sparky. The key is just to shock as much as possible all the defenses, because these are compact, so your shocks can get good value. Every base is slightly different, but when you start your attack, just have a look. The main danger points are the critter launcher still, and obviously anything which would one-shot your bombers, etc., which would be boom cannons. The rocket launchers, which are not amped up, are okay, I would say, because your boat of medics will heal up your bombers. But if they're amped up, you will need to shock those as well. But generally, with the compact layouts, the rocket launchers are close enough to critter launchers or boom cannons, so you can get good value for your shocks. This one, I left one here out. I thought this looked easy to try rocket choppers, but looking back at it and how I hit it, this is probably not the best way of doing that hit. So, and obviously I ran out of GBE too. So I tried to just get as many ERs as possible, hoping this player who doesn't have too much tech is probably going to try some funky hits with like smoky heavies or warriors or something, and hopefully they'll fizzle out. So yes, this player got 2 ERs on my base, and then I just went around the map to try and get the third ER so that I could secure the win. But yes, not a very, very good hit from my side. This one again, a bit of a fizzle for both of us. I fizzled a little bit less. That's the only difference. On these spread ones, this hit, I dropped the heavy towards the bottom ramp with a boat of bombers, with the hope that that clears off that area. And I think this is where my problem was in terms of like deploying for this ramp with the medics just running after the heavies. And obviously you do need those medics to stay on the right side so that they're healing up your troops from all the damage they're taking from the rocket launchers. So that wasn't very smart on my side. I should have delayed the board of medics. And this is probably one of my learning lessons also from today morning's hit. But hopefully that pointer will help you guys out too. But luckily, I was able to just manage the hit slightly. I got into a kind of like a decent spot with my bombers. I was then able to take down an extra ER, which my opponent wasn't able to do. And that's what got me the win over there, just taking down 2 ERs. So not a great hit, but did get the win, so happy with that. Then things started to improve slightly. I mean, again, these are stacked bases. A lot of the bomb mines were on the left side, so that's why I choose to play from the right ramp. And in this hit, I did delay my board of medics to just after or just when my heavies were going to die. I was trying to again use the shocks to max value, shocking as many defenses as possible so that my bombers can start to take them out, using Sparky's Critter Swarm when I had enough GB, and I thought that would be better than trying to do a shock, because most of the splash damage buildings like machine guns and flamethrowers were out of the way. And then my medics would actually be able to cope up with the rocket launcher fire, so it wasn't too bad in the end. And then just a final Hail Mary to the ER with a shock to get it down. So this one was a spread. I thought I had a great idea, but only in my head. That's how things end up a lot of the times. So I thought this boat of bombers on the left would be able to take down all of these defenses up over here because there is nothing really which is going to kill them. And this is where I also got lucky that this opponent did not have boom cannons. If he had boom cannons, I don't think I would have hit it like this. But in the end, it kind of worked out. Obviously, I ran out of GB for the shocks. And one of the snipers got some good damage on one of my bombers and killed it. the rocket launcher pretty much killed off the bombers too, but I was just lucky that they were left with a bit of health left. But I couldn't really flare the ER because I would have been killed by the cannon and the sniper. So I still had to wait it out. And by that time, my troops also came in as well as the critters. And then I was able to flare the final ER. And then finally, for getting back into diamond against Gamatos, again a spread layout. I think I started to do slightly better hits. So I'm going to flare one boat of bombers on the left side, shock the boom cannon, drop the boat of heavies, the bombers, and the grens as the flare was about to expire, so got much better on the timing over there. And then drop the boat of medics just as one or two heavies were left. Using the shocks to protect Sparky, because Sparky has a habit of dying, just like you would expect from Kawan. Sparky is the new Kawan, for now at least. I would just love to get ahead of everything and kill itself. After that, it was just a case of managing the hit. I was able to have just about enough bombers. I took out the boom cannons first so that they were safe from the boom cannon, because that was the only thing which is going to kill the bombers, and then finally take the ER down. And that's the sort of hits which I'm doing. That's the sort of hits which a lot of the top players are doing as well. I'll show you maybe one hit of Kaiser. Yes, he is a top player. Using similar sort of approach, but slightly different. So he's using primarily grens to act as the meat shield, which works, I think, because grens obviously don't run as ahead as heavies do to trigger critter launches and so on. And this is where the CR is a bit weak, because I don't really have boom cannons, so just one boat of bombers is sufficient to take down all the defenses over there, and nothing is really going to kill the bombers except for a few mines and all. So I probably need to rethink how I want to keep this side of the base. I think I will probably still want to keep a spread, but I will see. I'll try out a few bases and then decide what works best for my tech at the moment. But yes, really well managed hit, my Kaiser. So well done. Leaderboard is already at rank 22, and quite a few players are rank 22, so it isn't that just the top 2 or top 3 are there. Pretty much 8 players, probably these two going to get close to 22 as well, so they're way ahead of tech than me. But not too bad overall. I think just trying to get a chest and diamond is good enough for now. I'll place those boom cannons in a bit once I get the timer chest done, and then hopefully I can get some hits too. But in terms of next tech, I'm not too sure. The 5-year layout probably makes sense, but I'm just not able to get my hits done consistently. Trying to wait for Kawan seems a long way to go. 90 plus 42, 132. That's going to be ages, even in diamond chest. Same thing with critters too. 10k is less than Kawan, but that is also quite a lot of waiting time. I did have a few opponents try my base with laser ranges, but either they fizzled out or got a much slower time than the bomber hits. So not too sure whether they will be fully effective. I think for them to be effective, you do need Kawan, probably maybe critters too, just so that you can clear those mines, etc. Plus, I think the biggest thing will be troop damage. So I'm not too sure whether picking up laser ranges right now is the right thing or not. But I know some people have tried those hits as well. In terms of backfilling, I don't think I would open any of the multi-nodes, because although they do help with the defense aspect, but with bombers out, rocket choppers, laser rangers, I don't think they will be super useful. Rifles could actually again be quite good, because obviously more rifles than heavies, and maybe I might be tempted to go down that route, but I haven't decided yet. And the other two decks is around Gunboat and Troop Hill because they are both good. And I think with the extra Gunboat node, I might have better chances of using even rocket choppers or even bombers much more better. But that's where we are at the end of day 3, start of day 4. Hope that was useful, folks. If you found it useful, please do like it and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And do share it around with your friends who might be interested in seeing what is happening in terms of the Diamond League. Over and out. Have a great day.